First, if you get more impressions, more clicks, more search activity across different regions and languages, you will be able to improve your authority and rankings also for your main location. Hello everyone, welcome to the Blue Hat SEO series episode. In this case study, I'll be demonstrating how to use multilingual content for ranking higher in different regions, especially with the country top level domain extensions. The first suggestion in this video is that if you need to choose between a subdomain, a subfolder, or a separate domain as a country top level domain for a different region or the locality, try to choose actually country top level domain because it will be helping you to rank higher. The second thing is if you have a different domain, any technical issue or problem that you have or any mistake that you are doing technically won't be affecting your main domain or the main monetization domain that much. If you need to choose between a subdomain and a subfolder, choose a subfolder because you will be able to consolidate page rank in a better way. The second thing is that you need to choose between a subfolder and country top level domain. There are some countries that you don't need a second domain. For instance, if you have a website in Australia, you don't need a second one for New Zealand. If you are ranking for South Africa, you might not need also some other websites in the close area. When I close area, I mean actually close area in terms of the time zone in this case. In a similar way too, you should understand that Google clusters users based on their search behaviors, and search behavior is also qualified based on the time zone that they are in. If they have a local proximity with each other, and if they are very close, let's say time zone, and if there is not that much search activity or search demand, which means if there is not that much of a population, you won't need a different domain for that. In this project, I already published its actual main domain, and I'm updating you actually one more time for this other language domain too. If you watch our previous, maybe 3 before video, I actually published this website, which was also a multilingual website too. As you can see here too, it keeps also increasing its rankings too. This website here, the Canadian, let's say e-commerce and the local store is actually coming also from this one. So in both of the projects, I'm actually using near the same content. It is like near duplicate, but still, as you can see, they are not cannibalizing with each other. If you go with a subfolder, most probably you will be cannibalizing, but if you go with a different domain, it's less possible. The second thing is if you need to use the same language across different regions, and if you suspect a cannibalization possibility, try to use at least 30% different content. From HTML to HTML, you can use a library like div HTML or something like this to be able to understand what's the difference between two HTML documents. It should be over 30%, and this difference shouldn't be coming only from the product links or the product names. It should be the real difference. In this case, they are exactly the same. Still, it is ranking because, as I said, from Australia to Canada, time zone is very different. Users will be clustered differently. So exactly the same content actually can rank higher in this case. The same also happened in the previous example that I have shown for the health. These are the metrics. As you can see, this should be lower than 100% based on my principles or Koray's framework. And here we see that actually our crawl styles are lately increasing. I didn't show you this earlier. As a suggestion, also check your response time separately for your refresh and also for discover. Usually you'll see a slower response time for discover. That's why it is important. So you should actually exactly and especially aim for this lower 100. If this is lower than 100 milliseconds, this will definitely be in that situation. If I go to the pages report, you will still see that actually I have lots of unnecessary, let's say, bloating here. And despite the traffic here is less or the search demand is less, and this website gets way much more traffic, you can see that actually numbers are very close to each other. So in both of them, it should be different. This is, let's say, 6 months of comparison, more than double the increase we see. This is basically years of year comparison, and it is actually very close to like 7 times more. And if I go to the 28 days comparison year over year, probably it is again like 10 times more, maybe close to 10 times more. So it is increasing its rankings. One another important thing here is that for you to understand is actually momentum. So this is actually a speech that I created for my dear friend Charles in his private webinar. Here actually I explained how we were actually fighting with each other, the Google engineers and the SEOs as spammers. But today I believe we are not spammers. We are spammer engineers, and they are the search engine engineers. From an engineering to the engineering perspective, we are fighting with each other. I created my first actually AI website in 2021, and I got this type of manual penalties after reaching out to the 65,000 clicks a day. Here I was explaining that actually momentum was the first thing that we were exploiting in the Google's algorithm. I can explain it right now since it doesn't work anymore. If you translate 5,000 documents in one day, it means that there is no human effort there. So you shouldn't publish 5,000 documents in one day. Try to translate it through the time and try to just replace some of the synonym phrases or change some of the sentences. Do not put it exactly the same. I mean, it's not like identical the same, but over 90% can be same. But try to add some effort in that and try to publish them gradually. That's why you see that actually here in this example, we increased the rankings there gradually and in a steady way because we didn't duplicate entire site in one day. We do it truly or basically timely. This is lonja.co that I published earlier as a case study too. You should also understand when you increase the amount of pages, you usually decrease page rank per web page. But if you have two different domains, it won't be decreased that much as in the subfolder option. Here you see that actually we duplicated the entire site. It loses, we reversed it, the rankings are actually coming back. But this wasn't for multilingual. It was just basically engineering. Entire site has been duplicated one time, which means if you have 30,000 URL, we do the same. And today actually I was helping one of my friends earlier that I published a case study called Velzo. You also know that case study maybe. I already published it. If I can show you, you can also see this case that I published here with 4 different actually health websites. And the main problem in this type of websites is that usually you should translate a website to another language if there is a search query. If there is no search demand, do not share it. The fourth thing is that Google will be sharing the page rank of your domain to the another version actually through the hreflang. So if you have Canadian version and it is ranking really well, Australian version will be able to use historical data from here to reflect the authority on this part too. There are already some patterns and designs to explain these things. Like this is slightly different actually. This is for generating a page rank score and prioritizing rankings of a URL based on the link distance of these pages. The second one in this area about topic sensitive page rank. This is actually research from Stanford University where actually Google is coming from. And we also see that topic sensitive page rank has been mentioned directly inside Google API Leak 2 or Content Warehouse leak. So topic sensitive page rank, we can actually call it like unification of popularity, topicality, and also page rank. Popularity comes from actually clicks and impressions. Topicality comes from based on semantics. And in this case, page rank comes from the links. So this research technically says that, or our research is actually saying that instead of just using page rank scored, lately, Google actually is trying to use a unified score. This brings us back to the actual translating your website to the other languages, especially from information point of view, out of 2 reasons. First, if you get more impressions, more clicks, more search activity across different regions and languages, you will be able to improve your authority and rankings also for your main location. The second thing is that you can also get cheap page rank or more historical data and reflect it through hreflang to the other main version too. So that's why I suggest actually in the topical authority framework, after you get authority from a language, just go for another one as well, because I have shown you earlier too, even if you don't translate these things, Google will translate your content automatically and serve it, even if you don't do that. Even if our Canadian version, probably it has been translated in the last 16 months, as you can see here, while we are increasing our rankings, overall, we also get from Canada to we rank for different languages with the content that we have written. This shows authority. If there is search demand, don't wait for Google. Just do it by yourself. Publish it truly. Try to change 10% to keep yourself safe and go for it as much as possible. This is from our dear Bill, and he already explained some of these things years ago. Especially, I loved a question actually he asks here. This one here, a replacement for PageRank. It is 2014. That's a great year. I mean, 11 years ago, he actually signaled Now Boost already. He didn't necessarily mention something like Now Boost. He was mainly focusing on semantics by saying that semantics actually can change the PageRank score that you have. And Google today actually included also your click data, like bad clicks, etc., to calculate your PageRank as well. The crops here technically coming from Google Ads related research. That's why we read researches and also the patterns as well. This is a good design too. And Tristan G. Upstill is still here. As you know, he was also one of the persons who was actually training the Google engineering team. On-site and off-site search ranking results. They are trying to create a global score by getting external and internal factors together. And here too, they directly stated actually the page rank or your ranking score overall will be coming from this unification. And if you have actually more historical data or more page rank, it will be again multiplying your internal factors one more time too. So in this case, you should understand you technically have 3 IDs. Here, for instance, one Canadian ID, one Australian ID, and one global one. They merge and they create a new score overall, which reflects or modifies both of their rankings at the same time as well. So I don't want to keep these videos that long. That's why we call them Bluehead SEO videos. There will be new videos as well. If you'd like to join, you can join to our newsletter and also community. If you want, you can watch all these testimonials and join to our course and private community as well. And lately, actually, I wanted to also mention some of these great people from our community too, like Tamim Haider or Mohammed Ayaz also published his success too. And again, of course, Luis keeps publishing new case studies as well. A great SEO, I can tell. Our cohorts, either for automating content creation, either for web scraping or different type of industries. In the Topical Authority community, we have different cohorts that meet every week. They keep doing these meetings as well. Pavel with a great webinar, and also a great person, another great SEO, German's follows. He created one of the best topical maps in our course, I can tell. And he also did a workshop actually in Latvia by using our framework, and it was a really good moment for me to see. And many thanks for that. And also many thanks to the Mantas for promoting it as well. As you can see, even if I'm not active on YouTube that much, our community actually is keeping research and sharing active as much as possible. Let me also share this. 3 weeks ago, 305th success share has came from Raj Shikdar. From 0 to 4,000 clicks a day. Great success, my brother. From our private community actually shared it. I'm glad to see that. Another cohort meeting, as you can see. Germans is also here too. And Ahmad Shakib. Many thanks also for your success and for all these testimonials. And also many thanks to this cat as well for making world a better place with his existence. So my people, I will be keep publishing new case studies, as you know. And we will be meeting in our also conference and also our mastermind in Kuşadası as well. See you the next time. Thanks so much.